Hey everyone. As we were looking at how to rig different geometry this evening, it dawned on me that I walked you through the process of rigging everything through the orthographic viewports and then placing your joints wherever you needed to place them, which is a common workflow. But there is another tool that allows you to actually rig within your perspective viewport. Now, this is not very commonly used, but it is available, and it uses the volume of the geometry that you have created in order to calculate where you will be placing the bones. Now, this seems weird because how does the program know where to align the different bones? And like I said, it will need to look at the structure and calculate where the center of the volume of the point where you click this in order to lay that specific joint. In order to do this properly, what we need to do is make sure, first and foremost, to double click on our joint tool, create joint tools, double click to open up the tool settings, and make sure that you have selected projected centering. Make sure that that is what you do before anything else. And the reason for that is because this is what allows you to calculate the volume, the center of the volume of whatever geometry you're clicking on. So if I click on that, let me close this. Now, when I go in here to start rigging, what's going to happen is I will be clicking, let's say here for the hand, and now I can go ahead and rotate and place another joint here in the middle of the hand, then branch out to my thumb. So let's go this way. 1, 2, and 3. Let's just place 2 in there. Let me back out to the center of the palm so that I can branch out to the index finger. So this is going to go to the top of the finger, sorry. First, second, third joint. Let me go back up again and do the same thing for the rest of the fingers. So I'm going to do this really fast, and then you're going to see what this is doing. Once we completed this top of that finger, boom, 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 there you go. So now let me hit return, and what's going to happen is you notice that the program aligned those joints to what it calculated to be the center of the volume of the area where I clicked. Even though I was on the perspective viewport, it actually aligned them. Now, this works pretty well most of the time, but sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't get it where we need it to be. Like, for example, if I were to look at this, I would think that that joint is a bit too low, too close to the palm of the hand. So let's say if I wanted to bring that up, how would I go about doing that? Well, this is where you need to remember that the joint structures that you create in Maya are basically bones connected to pivot points. So each one of these is a pivot point for the bone that sticks out of it. So that's why when I rotate this guy, everything rotates past that point because that is the pivot point for everything else past that point. So if we keep that in mind, then we can go ahead and make use of our shortcuts to control the pivot point. So if I want to affect this point right here only, just that point, then I can use the shortcut, the letter D on the keyboard, keeping the letter D pressed. Let me switch my tool to the move tool. The letter D pressed, or press the insert button on your keyboard. Same thing. The D is basically a shortcut. Let me actually not make sure that I am not aligned to it, that I'm not constrained to anything. So let me go ahead and zoom into this and press the D key on the keyboard and drag that up, and you'll notice that I'm only affecting that particular joint. The other joints are not moving. So I can go ahead and place this where I need it to be, and I can go back and fine-tune each one of the different areas of my joint structure so that they actually land where I need them to go. So it's not a one-shot deal, but it does help significantly to improve the speed at which you rig objects, because you don't have to worry about having to jump between orthographic views. Now, you can do it also through orthographic views like we've been doing in class, and that works fine. But if you're in a pinch and you want to rig this really fast, then this is a way to do it. And you just have to go back and fine-tune your rigs as you need to. So that is a way of making sure that you can rig from the perspective viewport.